Yeah, I'm like, it's like I feel like I sound dumb just even saying this stuff because it's all very logical. It's like you're trying to fight fascists by being a fascist yourself.
Right. Yeah.
Or that's like me trying to find racism by being a racist.
Yeah.
It does not make any sense.
Right.
And so when people show up with that idea, meaning I'm going to combat something with that something, I'm like, you know the whole eye for an eye? Yeah, it doesn't take a genius to understand that line.
Yeah, word. Yeah, and that's a good point. It's like that one of the problems I have with protests and the way that they're usually carried out is like you focus so much on the problem and then like fighting against the other person and basically like shouting at them, telling them that they're a piece of shit.
Exactly.
Like,
so
how are you going to win any hearts or minds, to your cause if you're, just like shitting on the other sides?
Well, when you create a name for your group that means I'm anti this, by default, if I'm not part of your group, I'm that.
Word. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like you and I both know that's not the case.
Yeah.
That's like me saying that just because I'm not for BLM, that automatically makes me racist.
Right. Yeah.
That's not the case.
Yeah.
It's not the case. Now, if you are uneducated and you like to just write people off, you'd be like, nah, you're a racist.
Well, that's one of the things I feel like really happened this last year with the election, but also, with social justice issues. It's like, if someone doesn't like subscribe to the way, like your view on the subject in the way that you do, it's like you're either for me or against it.
You have to be XYZ, right? Yeah, like you have to fall in this box.
Yeah, like, and that's the thing. I don't like to be put in a box, like, because I like to approach things like as they come and like, be adaptable to the situation. So I'm not gonna put myself in this like box, like I am this 100% always. It's like that might not be the right choice for that situation.
Yeah.
And I'm really here to like bridge communities, bridge different groups of people, like. I'm going to try to extend myself and like interact with groups who maybe like I don't believe the same that they do, or maybe.
Well, actually, that fascinates me, really.
Word.
So, for example, when I heard a story of I forget his name, but it was a black man interviewing a KKK leader.
Mm-hmm.
That to me was the most ridiculous, awesome, interesting thing to watch. Because here you have a guy who has every reason not to do this. But here he is, still trying to figure out what is going on and what it is all about. And ends up becoming friends with a couple of the leaders over time and still catches up with them after they got to know each other.
Yeah, I mean...
You know the story I'm talking about? Have you heard of it?
I think I have seen that story.
Yeah, I really wish I was better at remembering names, but I guess what I'm saying is if you're automatically willing to just walk away and slam the door every time somebody disagrees with you, I don't know what to tell you, but that's a sad life.
Yeah.
You're not going to do much growing.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that. On the other side, I do, in like a lot of situations, I personally will like not like go out of my way to voice my opinion if it's going to cause tension and
friction.
And I feel that there's nothing good is going to come out of it because there's some things that I just have a different view on people. So like
I wish I was more that way.
Yeah, so I mean like spirituality is a big thing for me. Like I have a lot of views that a lot of people I think would consider strange or weird, like contrary to their views, and like if someone is explaining their philosophy, I'm just gonna sit there and listen to it. I might like give some views about mine, but I'm not gonna like try to convince them, or like convert them to anything. It's like I'm still figuring stuff out, and that's kind of how I feel with like politics. Like I feel like I don't pay attention enough to it to really have a strong, like, I don't really know these people, it's like I know what I see on TV. I don't trust that. I know what I see on media. Like, I don't trust that because it's influenced like on social media. It's like, so until I can go and meet these people or like, spend a significant amount of time, like understanding them and like what they do and what they believe, then, like that's when I'll pay attention to politics and, really like feel like I'm, doing something by participating in. But, if I'm just watching like CNN or NBC and like, just
exactly
all
like
those like negative, like telling me how awful someone is over and over and over all day, every day. Like, I don't need to see that. Like, no,
yeah.
thank you. Like, I'd rather watch the Food Network. You know, it's like when I go to my parents' house and they're watching CNN, I'll like switch it to the Food Network, not because I really want to watch the Food Network, but because it's like much better than having the news on. I really think everyone should turn the news off and like find a like a neutral-ish, as neutral as possible source of news who's not like coloring it, you know, towards their agenda. If
I'd say find multiple
yeah,
that are in different spectrums.
yeah, and
So you can really see what's happening here.
But
like,
you know, like pay attention to who's sponsoring it, like, you know, like what the message is behind it, and how you feel when you listen to it. If it makes you feel good and inspires you, and like, or you know, or inspires you to change something, you know, that's something you should pay attention to. Like, focus on things that like make you feel good and like are directed towards things you want to see more of in your life, you know, and stay away from anything that makes you feel bad or worried or fearful, which is like most of mainstream media and
right.
news.
Yeah, that's a good point, because going back to my earlier point, how I would consider that I got into it, meaning I became a lot more involved in the last 2 years. But in the last year, it was about finding a medium between different sources. But then, like you said, finding, after doing your research, finding these sources that continuously to you come across like these people are really trying to put the truth, whether if it's pleasant or not. That's it.
Word.
And that's how I view journalism. You don't, like, I don't care if it's a positive or a negative, just give me the truth. That's it. And at this point, we're so far from that. And thankfully, there's sort of like a pendulum effect where the big media has screwed up so bad for so long. The average person completely has written them off. The average person. There's still a few people who are like actually buying into this stuff for real. But for the most part, they're pretty much spending money to lose money. These people, like, they have a sinking boat, and they know it. And they know that private, smaller content creators are starting to get momentum, and they're starting to be more trusted sources for regular people like you and I than big news themselves.
Word. And that's like one of the things, I mean, goes to my point. It's like those small content creators, for the vast majority of them, are putting out content that makes people feel good, that like inspires them. You know, they might even be talking about a problem or something that they don't like, but, you know, point at the problem for just like a second, you know, and have that show you where you're going, where you need to go, where the solution is, you know, and focus on the solution.
Perhaps a little comedy on top of it.
Yeah, exactly. You know, things, you know, keep it light, but like, you know, if there's issues, like, instead of focusing on, oh, this issue, it's getting worse and worse, and like, it's just going to be so bad, and like, there's, you know, like, no way out of this black hole that we're going down into. It's like, no, like, say, okay, we have these problems. Here are the things we're working on. And then put it in like, hey, this is like, you know, something that we need to be aware of, something that we need to work on, you know, or just like put it in a way like, hey, this is how it is, even if it's terrible. And like, this is where we are. This is where we should, you know, this is where we can go. Like, you know, talk about like ways to make things better. Or, you know, the start of a great project that is making things better. If you find a problem, like, there's probably people working on the solutions. Like, focus on that, you know. Yeah. But, I mean, that's, like, not the system we live in, but I feel like it's the system we're moving to.
Yeah, I believe in the information age. Because of the internet, big companies like big news are having a harder time containing the story they want to be told. Mm-hmm. And so whatever the truth is, it's going to just sort of keep seeping, kind of like water. You could put a rock in front of it, it's just going to go around it.
Yeah, exactly.
And so the truth might take a little longer to show up because it's being kept from you, but it will always seep right through.
Yeah. Well, so my prediction for 2021 is that this is going to be the year of revelation. This is going to be the year that a lot of light is thrown. There's going to be a lot of problems that are exposed. Things are going to seem awful. And I really feel like we're moving towards, I mean, for like a lack of a better term, and at the sake of being cliche, like we're moving towards the golden age. Like we really are gonna enter a new age of peace and prosperity, and where people are gonna be more connected and just, you know, more compassionate and care about each other more. And so we're gonna stop all these, like, you know, wars and all this violence and, you know, contention. And, you know, it's like this year I feel like is gonna be the shift. It's like it's gonna get worse over the next few months. Like a lot of like crazy, shocking, you know, things I think are going to come to light, because there's a lot of like negativity and evil essentially going on in the world. And I think all of the negativity, all the negative energy, all the evil, all the, you know, like selfish intentions are going to be jettisoned from our planet over the next 20, 30 years. So it's going to be uncomfortable at first, but I feel like it's like we've got this like mucus in our lungs, like that we've been building up for so long. And like 2021, it started 2020, we started coughing. 2021, we're gonna cough that shit out, and it's gonna be gross. But then we're gonna be clear. We're gonna be able to breathe more clearly. We're gonna see the light at the end of the tunnel. I think this is gonna be the year it shifts, and then every year from here on out, it's gonna get better and more peaceful. And I think people are just going to continue to awaken.
So is that because of our newfound president-elect, Joe Biden?
I don't think that has much to do with Joe Biden. I have this weird feeling that I don't know if he's going to make it through the end of the presidency. And yes. I don't mean that. I hope that's not true. That's a weird.
I mean, the guy's not in good shape. He hadn't been in good shape during the.
But yeah, I feel that about Trump too. I'm like, I kind of worry about his health, and he seems like he gets so angry, and just like, I'm like, I hope, and you know, God bless both President Trump and President-elect Joe Biden. I pray for both of their health. I hope they, you know, learn to look inside and trust their heart, and, you know, just be compassionate and really just try to lead from an open heart and a place of love.
Here's what I gotta say.
We'll see what happens.
All right, thanks for watching this clip from Appropriate Culture. If you want to watch the full episode, go ahead and check out us at appropriateculture.com. You can also check us out on social media platforms at Appropriate Culture. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you guys on the next one.